Good evening and welcome to Bayonet Point Middle School's Curriculum Night. My name is Shelley Carino and I am the principal at Bayonet Point Middle. I have been at Bayonet Point for 7 years and have been able to witness the tremendous growth and awesome new programs that we have brought to the area. And we are very proud of our STEM Magnet School. And we look forward to sharing all of that information with you this evening. I also want to thank my staff for giving up some time this evening to share some very valuable information with our new Patriot families and some of our current Patriot families. So thank you again for joining us this evening. And without further ado, I would like to review the agenda with you, and then we'll get going. So this evening, you will be hearing from a variety of staff members about your new course cards and how to complete those, and what the deadlines are for turning those things in. We're also going to be sharing all the different course offerings and programs that we offer at Bayonet Point. And then at the end, you will have an opportunity to ask any follow-up questions on items that we may not have addressed during the presentation. So as we move on, we are going to share with you some pictures. We realize this is a virtual meeting tonight, and so we are not able to bring you into the building and show you how beautiful it is. So about 4 or 5 years ago, I'm losing track now, Bayonet Point was renovated and remodeled, and it is more modern looking now. You can see on your screen at this point, we are a STEM magnet school. As the kids and our visitors enter the building, you will see the sign on the doors that ask you to think about how you are going to design your destiny while you're at Bayonet Point and involved in all the different curricular activities that we have and the different classes that we have to offer in the programs. You'll see the front of the school there, and that is what you can expect to see when you actually visit Bayonet Point in person. Our classrooms, you will see on this next slide, are very innovative. If you really look close, you will see that all of our furniture for the students is mobile, so everything is on wheels. You will also notice that they are very uniquely shaped. Our teachers are able to, not necessarily in COVID times, but able to slide tables and desks together to create larger collaborative groups for students, or separate them to create some smaller collaborative groups for students to work in teams. At Bayonet Point, our focus is to work not only individually on their academics, but also with partners and small groups. And our furniture allows for that. It's very vivid and vibrant as well. You can see with the bright colors on the chairs in the classroom and the colors on the walls. Next, you're going to see a picture of our media center. We do have a stage that is to the right that you won't be able to see in the pictures. We do have several TVs on the wall, so when presentations are being given, there are a variety of ways for students and staff to view presentations that are being held. We do host Patriot Hour after school at our media center. It's an after-school tutoring program for our students, and they do have access to computers there. You also see some unique seating, collaborative seating in our media center. The couch is on the right-hand side. And you also see books are still in our media center. We have a variety of books for the students to check out and enjoy outside of school time. The next picture you're going to see is a picture of our collaboration centers. We have 2 of them. The picture on the right is what it looks like from the outside. We have lots of windows in our school so that you can actually see what is going on in our classrooms. The collaboration centers are a place for teachers to take their students to work on group projects. There are 3 TVs in there to allow for students to collaborate on presentations, and also some flexible seating in there as well, as you can see in the picture on the left-hand side. This is the picture of our commons. It looks very overwhelming. It is very large. On the left-hand side, we have a blue wall. That is a place that we are able to advertise all of our activities after school, showcase student achievement, student work, etc. Towards the right, right below the American flag that's hanging up there, you will see our trophy case. On the walls on both the left-hand and right-hand side, you will see that we are promoting colleges and all the different varieties of university and colleges that are available to our students. Also directly in front of you, that is the outside of our cafeteria. And if you look through the glass up top there, that will be the inside of our cafeteria where students do eat. Currently, our students eat inside the cafeteria, down below in that outside area there, as well as outside. So as I was mentioning the cafeteria seating, here's just some pictures of our benches that we have inside the cafeteria for the kids to enjoy their lunches. And that wraps up just the quick tour of our building, some of the main areas that the kids visit and pass through on a daily basis. So I hope you enjoy your evening. We are glad that you are here with us. And I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Jacobson to discuss our STEM LADIC school and what it all means. Mrs. Jacobson.
Hi, so I believe Miss Mulvey is actually doing this one, but can you talk, Mulvey? No? Okay. Um, so we are a STEM LATIC school, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, which means that our courses and our electives are centered around those. LATIC refers to a learner active technology infused classroom. So we'll go into more on what that means in a couple of slides. So STEM for your student means that our elective courses are focused on technology, engineering, and career exploration. And all of our classes are centered around something called the design process. And it's where students tackle real world problems using standards-based instruction. So in our school, because all of our students are enrolled in certain classes, our honors classes school-wide, they participate in the STEM fair every year, the history fair, and Pasco Speaks, which is formerly known as TED Talks. So you guys might have done that in elementary school or previous years. So the way that our school incorporates LATIC as a STEM school is that we have units of study in all of our core classes. And all of our units of study begin with a real world problem that students are asked to solve. So they're presented with this real world problem at the beginning of their unit, and they have to consistently go back and apply their learning. And throughout their unit of study, they will tackle that real world problem. Teachers provide a variety of learning activities, including whole group and small group lessons and activities in which students will engage individually and collaboratively. So there's a lot of learning activities that students will work by themselves, with partners, or in groups. Students will get to choose their own mode of learning through choices provided by the teacher. So the teachers provide learning opportunities for all of students, and they will get to choose how they learn that. So that all students will reach mastery of the standards in a way that's meaningful and makes sense to them.
I can jump in here too, Ms. Jacobson. There were some issues with muting and unmuting here. So if you want me to take the second half here, I can.
Tackle it, Mulvey.
All right. So in our classrooms, every classroom engages in ALUs, authentic learning units, which are problem-based tasks. Students engage in these units that incorporate real-world problems where students can apply their knowledge of the state standards they're learning in the classroom. Students engage in the design process, which is the graphic that you see on your screen, throughout the ALU as they explore solutions through the inquiry and research with their peers. So this is an ALU task that they will consistently go back to throughout a unit as they're learning more in that standard. Some examples of ALUs we've had in our classrooms. Our math classroom, I know students have designed a zoo enclosure using their knowledge of area and proportions. They make a 3D visual aid to showcase their solutions to the task at hand. Mr. Babiars can touch on that later when we cover math. ELA, students have researched fears of middle school students to give advice on how to overcome those fears as they enter middle school. They create a whole media presentation about it, and it can be used for our actual students. So it's the authenticity as well. In history class, students designed a plan to colonize Mars as they were studying about colonization in history, and they were able to write an actual letter to Elon Musk in their ELA classrooms too. So there's the cross-curricular plans as well. And then in science, they've designed a school garden before using organic methods to produce healthy foods after learning about GMOs. So those are just a couple examples of ALUs that have occurred in the past in our core content classes. So the why behind the STEM LATIC, why do we have this? What's the benefit? The biggest thing is that students build executive functioning skills, and these skills they're going to be able to use in the future classes and beyond middle school and in high school and college and so forth. It teaches students how to schedule and use their time wisely. They set goals and self-assess themselves with the assistance of their teachers. It connects learning to other areas of their lives and make it actually matter to them and mean something to them. Students learn to work collaboratively with their peers as well. It also helps to understand their role as contributors to a global society as well. So it really connects them to the community as a whole as they learn these basic skills that they can take with them in the future. And now I will turn it over to ELA. I'm not sure who the speaker is for that. Is that?
It's Miss Montgomery.
Oh, there you go. Miss Montgomery. Thank you. I will turn it over to the beautiful Miss Montgomery.
Thank you, Miss Mulvey and Miss Jacobson. So I'm Miss Montgomery. I am one of the language arts teachers here at BPMS. So in language arts, something that I think is wonderful that we do is that all of our students from 6th to 8th grade are actually placed in our advanced language arts course. The reasons for this include, they're getting the same curriculum and the same pacing that all of our students would have. They are taking the same standard-based assessments. And so we really feel like giving them that consistent high expectation for all learners really leads to their ultimate success. We're able to incorporate the LATIC authentic learning units, which are the same, and those still provide those extension and application opportunities for our students. They're highlighting their critical thinking, working on their communication, different levels of creativity. By doing this, we're also able to have all of our students participate in the Pasco Speaks public speaking, which we're doing right now, which is one of my favorite activities to get all of our kiddos up in front of the class and speaking. It also makes it easy should a student ever need to transfer in their schedule. The teachers are very collaborative in language arts, and we're able to kind of switch those schedules with ease since all of the students are again working on that same curriculum with those same high expectations. Something else wonderful that our language arts department offers is at BPMS, we actually have most of our language arts classes in the co-teach classroom setting. This means that our students are getting 2 different certified teachers in their classroom. These teachers specialize from reading to writing, different intervention levels for our students, extension opportunities, and we're able to really meet all of our learners' needs because we have 2 strong teachers in the classroom. This also allows that differentiated instruction and a smaller student to teacher ratio. It also creates almost like a team within our language arts class, and you know that not only 1 teacher, but 2 teachers have your students back when it comes to their reading and writing growth. So I'm also going to talk about intervention time. So in language arts, what that looks like is 1 extended class period every 6 days is designated to our language arts intervention time. Students receive a variety of additional instructional strategies during this time. It's usually about an extra half hour of class. We're able to do a lot of reteaching skills, focusing on the language arts standards in this time. It allows us to do reassessments to meet those different needs, sometimes changing them to match our learners. It also allows for that small group instruction that Ms. Carino mentioned that we really strive to do a lot on campus to help our kids with their reading, writing, speaking, and listening in that small group setting. We see that that leads to a lot more growth in our students when sometimes they're able to be in that small group atmosphere. Sometimes we're even able to have it run by an expert student so they can show their expertise as well. So some of the awesome stuff we get to read, write, talk, and listen about in language arts include, of course, your variety of informative, argumentative, and narrative texts. We get to explore short stories, different excerpts, a lot of visual clips, and audio recordings. Students will, of course, be practicing their writing skills. We do this with formal essays every month. This will help prepare our students for those FSAs, their standards in the curriculum, and of course, just overall strengthen in their writing proficiency levels. Students will practice listening skills and develop their speaking skills in language arts on campus. We analyze complex text. We work with rigorous text that will explore a variety of themes, such as the coming of age, bravery, taking a stand, community helpers, giving back to our community, impacting society, and different technology advances. Students will deepen their abilities to analyze these texts while focusing on different standards, including theme, character development, plot, figurative language, of course, poetry, evidence support, main idea, rhetoric, claims and counterclaims, tone, multimedia, and author's purpose. So hopefully that's familiar to some of you guys, but that is just a touch on what we cover in language arts class. And now it looks like it's going to social studies, which I believe is Mr. Suriano.
Thank you, Ms. Montgomery. Good evening, future Patriot families. My name is Mr. Suriano. I'm currently one of the 4 civics teachers here at Bayonet Point Middle School. I'm currently in my 3rd year teaching civics, and I'm here to just talk about very briefly some of the things that you are going to look at in your social studies courses over your 3 years as a Patriot. I just want to go back to those authentic learning units that Ms. Jacobson and Ms. Mulvey talked about, because social studies is one of those concepts, just like all of them, where it's happening right now, it's happening all around you, and we have a lot of opportunities to make connections from the real world to the classroom. Okay, so next year, when you are in 6th grade, you are going to be learning about US history. Okay, the thing that I really like about social studies in middle school is you get to learn about 3 different types of social studies. And the first one is about US or American history. Some of the concepts that are covered in American history are the foundations of our country, some of the going back to the very beginnings, pre-1400s with the transatlantic trade, moving into the Revolutionary War, covering the conflicts that led to the foundations of the United States, moving into their, oops, I think we lost the presentation, but from the Revolutionary War, we go into westward expansion and how the United States, there we go, how the United States grew over time. And they conclude by discussing the Civil War at the end of the year. When you move on to high school and you cover your American history class, you'll actually pick up right where you left off at the very end of the Civil War. Now, once you, at the end of 6th grade, US history does have a district final that you'll take at the end of the year. And then once you move on to the 7th grade, the things that you learned in US history actually make a really deep connection to civics. And civics is the social studies that you'll be learning about in the 7th grade. And one of the things that I teach my students at the very beginning of the year is how important civics is, because it's the study of you and how you interact with your community. Some of the things that we talk about in civics is some of the obligations or the things that you have to do as a citizen, and the responsibilities, the things that you should do as a citizen of your community. We also look at the structure and the functions of our 3 branches of government and how the government works. If you watch the news, I'm sure you're in tune, or at least you have an idea of some things that are going on with regards to American government and current events. We look at the documents that founded the United States and how it sets up our government. We also look at political parties, and that's very relevant today, especially we just came off an election year. And while we're speaking about elections, when Ms. Jacobson and Ms. Mulvey were talking about authentic learning units, one of the ones that we did last year was students actually picked an issue. They got to form their own political party around an issue. And that issue could have been a school issue. It could have been an issue they saw in their community or their state. And what they did was they came up with a new policy to address that issue. And just like how we do here in Florida, we can change laws ourselves as citizens here in Florida by petitioning our peers. We can petition, we can get signatures from other members of our community so that we can vote and make a difference on election day. So students actually petitioned their peers and they got their new laws put on a ballot. And we actually had a school-wide mock election. And it was really, really cool. We got to contact some of our local and state representatives to see if they could look into possibly addressing those issues as well. So again, making real world connections from the classroom to your community. I'm not sure if we'll be able to do that this year because of COVID, but moving forward, hopefully that is one that we're definitely going to do. And right now, actually, we're beginning to talk about the landmark decisions of the courts that shaped the United States and some of the rights that you have as students, some of the rights that we have as citizens, the laws and how they impact us in our communities. So a lot of deep connections to the real world in civics and you as a citizen. Now, at the end of the year, you will be taking an end of course exam, also known as an EOC in civics. And that is very important because the state of Florida, again, Civics Connection, says that in order to be promoted, you got to have that civics credit with that end of course exam. Okay, so the study of citizenship, awesome. All right, moving on into 8th grade. The third social studies is world history. So we began with the foundations of American history, our own country, the study of our government. Now we're expanding it into the rest of the world. And one of the things that you will be learning about in world history is ancient civilizations. So the people and the communities that came before us that helped shape the world, the beginnings of government and culture. So once you've built that background information in civics, you can then apply that to how it all began and how it all formed. Moving into how society developed and the development of technology over time. I do remember one of the ALUs or authentic learning units that they did in world history last year was they actually got to recreate the tomb of an ancient mummy when they were talking about Egypt. And so some really cool things in world history. You get to learn about Rome and Egypt and the pyramids and China. And I think right now they're talking about the different cultures that we have in the world and the history of those cultures. So just a quick recap: the 3 social studies in middle school, American history, and then you move on to civics, which is the study of government or citizenship and how you interact with your community, and then we cap it all off with the history and the study of our world. And I think now I'm going to hand it off to science, which I believe is Miss Collins.
Hi, I'm Miss Collins. I'm actually the 8th grade science teacher at Bayonet Point. This picture of my classroom last year, just showing you some of the fun things that our students do in science. We are a STEM school, and science is the capital letter S in STEM. But we not only teach the scientific method in our science classrooms, we also teach the design method. So we do engineering projects as part of our ALUs. We incorporate technology as many different ways as possible. And of course, we teach math because math and science go hand in hand. Our teachers use a combination of hands-on science activities with their activity lists. And you can see some of my students here from the past doing some different chemistry experiments. And you can see some of our LATIC resources in the background. In the first picture on the left, you can see my resource table where the students go to get the resources they need to do their work. Behind, in the second picture, behind the students on the wall, you can see their engineering project that they had to design a rocket. And in the far right-hand side, you can see above the students where we have our design process there on the wall, which is incorporated into all their different ALUs. We use these activities and activity lists to help our students get a better understanding of the standards that they have. We have several different kinds of ALUs depending on the grade level. And at BPMS, every year we hold a science fair. Our science fair is open to all students to participate. This year, we were really proud. We sent 9 students to the district science fair, the science and engineering showcase, they called it this year. And we actually had 2 students place in the top 3. So we're really proud of that. Our 6th graders, they start out with a study of Earth history, where they're going over weather and landforms. They move into physical science, where they're studying gravity and forces. And then they end the year with life science, where they're studying cells and body systems. So that's what we have for our science classes.
All right, let's go into math. I'm Mr. Babiars. I have been a math teacher here at Bayonet Point Middle School for the last 8 years. Let me keep this brief. Math will be your child's best class of the day. So it's never too soon to start early for them to start hearing that. Math will be the best class of the day. A little side note, I will let you know that I'm also the boys and girls soccer coach. So for those students wanting to participate with the extracurricular activities. Going to math, our 6th grade math course consists of 9 units that encompass all the Florida math standards for 6th grade. Our 6th grade accelerated math class will consist of 9 units from our 6th grade standards and some 7th grade standards. Now, I know we're going to have some breakout rooms later, and I would be glad to share with you the different areas of content we'll be covering in each class area. Our math teachers teach with the emphasis, again, using hands-on activities. Students will complete authentic learning units, task assignments, projects, summative and formative assessments to show the understanding of the material. Communication by our teachers, verbal feedback, written feedback, discussion, and questionings are very important for your child's learning. And as you can see with Mr. Curtis here, the communication of sitting down with your child, a lot of it's one-on-one or in small groups, is getting that communication to your child to help them get their knowledge and keep going in their math content area. Our STEM-led classrooms model fosters increased engagement, academic rigor, and student responsibility. We really put a lot of this in the students' hands to participate and problem solve. As we've been talking the whole time, everybody's been saying we do problem solving. And I do want to share with you a few of the things that we have done over the years, and some of those things we're very proud of. When our authentic learning units is we have designed Florida rehabilitation zoos. The kids are taking a problem in Florida and situations that happen, and they apply the geometry and the math to their zoo to say, how can we make this in with the standards and the things that we need for these animals to survive, by actually looking into the Florida Zoo Association and actually looking into what needs to be provided. So we really get into diving in deep and really determining what the kids need. We also design math games. And then one of my favorite ALUs is that the students have done, and we have brought in thousands of cans. We've helped our community by helping the homeless. And that is a fantastic unit that we've always done every year. And we're actually feeding the people in our community that is in need, especially with this COVID and time of COVID. It's a great to make the kids feel good that they're really doing something authentic. And we practice also making the dinners and doing ratios and things like that, setting up the dinners. It's really neat. Our accelerated math classes place students on a fast track to prepare them for 7th grade advanced math. That will in turn prepare them for Algebra 1 honors to be taken in 8th grade. And with successful passing of the EOC, students will then receive high school credit. In a few instances, we've had students complete the Algebra 1 honors and geometry hours. So I hope to answer a few of your questions later on in the breakout session. So I expect to see you there, and I can specifically answer those things that you have of interest. Thank you for coming tonight. I think now we have a video.
Ever wanted to have a class where it was okay to fly paper airplanes? If so, our Explorer Tech class might be the place for you. In our Explorer Career Tech class, we learn about a bunch of exciting different career choices for you to consider. Using an interactive online learning platform, we learn about the endless possibilities that are out there. We explore everything from rescue robots, concept cars, marine biologists, and even farmers. We have some fun stuff along the way that goes on, like making dolphins' prosthetic tail, flying paper airplanes, and even designing our own concept cars.
Intro Art AV. An introduction semester class to using Photoshop and audio-video formats. Learn how to use Photoshop to edit images and create logos in order to make advertisements as well as designing products. Digital Media 1. A full year class that counts as a high school credit, works towards helping students achieve a certification in Adobe Photoshop. The first 3 quarters of the year are dedicated to Photoshop and mastering skills needed for an industry certification. Photography, using digital single-lens reflex cameras, is also part of class.
All right, future patriots, we heard a little bit about the electives that we offer at Bayonet Point, and we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into those. 6th graders have the option of choosing a technology pathway or a fine arts pathway if they're interested in semester electives. And we heard a little bit about that exploration of career and technical occupations in the video, where students will use a STEM program called Learning Blade to explore career opportunities. And Ms. Babiars is going to share with us the coding pathway here at BPMS.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mrs. Babiars. I teach Coding 1 and Coding 2. I have been with Bayonet Point for going on 11 years. I wanted to share with you a little bit about Coding 1. It is broken up into a hierarchy, where in Coding 1, you're going to learn all about the primitive data types and kind of like how to begin to code. You're going to code a character through a series of challenges using Apple Swift. Apple Swift language is very similar to Python if you're into coding. It is also a fairly easy language to learn at the very beginning. And once you learn Coding 1, when you take Coding 2, you're going to get more into the designing of Apple apps for either the iPad, the iPhone. You're going to have to do interactive coding. So you're going to be able to build and actually program using the Apple Swift language to design an app that if you come up with something really good, that Apple might even decide to put on its Apple Store. Then as we move forward, there is a possibility that we will continue with more coding. We do 2 types of coding in my class. As you can see in the picture, we do the laptop coding, and then we also do the robotics coding, that is the Spheros. So we try to do a little bit of learn and then application. So that's kind of where we are right now with coding. There are 10 soft skills that they like to say that go with coding. I know you've heard a lot about the problem solving, but your child will also learn critical thinking, persistence, courage to try new things. We learn math skills. We learn meaningful context of how we need to make sure that we're putting our app to good use. We learn processing skills, determination. We're creative. And one of the things I'm most proud of is breaking down the gender barriers. I'm very proud to say that 41% of my class is female, and I do have about 20% of my class are students of minority students. So we're doing very well. My girls are taking over the coding world. So if you have any questions, I'll be available at a breakout session.
Thank you, Ms. Babiars. The other semester elective pathway we have for 6th grade students is our fine arts pathway. And with that, it's a combination of art and music. 6th graders have the opportunity to take 2D art. When they get to 7th grade, they can take 3D art. And then we also have a digital art and design course that uses a combination of different apps, phones, cameras, and Photoshop, and merges all of that together. And now we're going to hear from Mr. Harvey, who's going to share a little bit about the music program.
Hi, my name is Mr. Harvey. The semester class is called Exploring Music, and we run it similar to a band class. The students will select instruments and they'll learn to play the instruments. And it's kind of a get to know music, get to know band if it's something you might want to do. If a student is ready to commit to band, then we also offer a full year course called Beginning Band. And they end up having 2 performances during the school year for that. And it's a precursor to the advanced band. But during that beginning band stage, they start from scratch. They don't have to have any prior knowledge. We pick instruments and they just get started on them. I teach them start with like 5 notes, and then we start learning a bunch of rhythms, and then we end up learning more and more notes to where at the end of the year, they have a pretty good knowledge base to go into the advanced band. And the advanced band is like our performing group of the school. We play at the football games. We play at least 2 concerts a year. We go to a festival. We've marched in the Chasco Parade. And so we're the band you think of when you think of a school band that's out there in the community. And there's one more course that's offered for 6th graders, and it's also a year-long course, and that's called Guitar 1. And it's just like beginning band. You start from the beginning. You don't have to have any prior knowledge at all. And we start by learning a bunch of chords, and we learn how to accompany music using those chords. Then we go on to learning how to play melodies on the guitar. Right now in guitar class, we're learning to finger pick a little bit. We've learned bar chords. Probably next month-ish, we'll start to learn to read tab, which is another way that music for guitar is written. And so it's one of those where you don't have to have any prior knowledge. Just come on in, and if you're committed to learning to play the guitar for a year, then I will do my best to teach you so that you can be a future rock star. And now I think we turn it over to Mr. Peterson for health.
Hey everybody, I'm Coach Peterson. I'm just going to kind of give a quick review of the physical education and health that we offer at school. So we start out with like our giant unit. I just started with the biggest one first, and that's comprehensive PE. And really the goal is to introduce them to a whole bunch of different sports and activities. So there's individual and dual sports like tennis and badminton, and alternative sports and outdoor pursuits. And the whole purpose is to get the students to find what makes them want to be active and healthy for a lifetime. So they get introduced to a variety of sports. And so some of the ones that we offer are capture the flag, floor hockey, basketball, kickball, soccer, disc golf, chook ball. I bet you probably a lot of the 5th graders, you haven't heard of that one, but that ends up becoming a favorite of a lot of different students. Volleyball, badminton, and badminton is the favorite and no one thinks they're going to like it. So outdoor games like bocce and spike ball, there's a whole big mix. So if you come in with an open mind, you're going to find a sport that you absolutely love to play and learn how to be healthy and fit for a lifetime. And then in 6th grade, we have a fitness course, and we still get to play some of the awesome games, but we're also going to tie it into the health and skill related components of physical fitness. And when we do that, you'll be learning all of those fitness patterns that you need to be healthy and successful for a lifetime, but you also are going to be introduced to the variety of sports too. Online, if we still, hopefully we don't, but if we still have My School Online and you're taking PE in there, don't worry, because we offer a whole bunch of activities that keep you engaged. And we focus really on your cardiovascular endurance, muscular strength, muscular endurance, flexibility, and body composition. And those are like the 5 components of fitness. And we'll introduce you to a whole bunch of different activities you can do just right out of your house. Hopefully we still won't be like that next year and you can come into school and play all of the awesome games. But if so, we do have an online plan in place too. And then health course, which is absolutely my favorite course that I've ever had the opportunity to teach, just because I believe it sends the best message. It's teaching you how to be healthy for a lifetime. And it's not only just the physical health, we also work on the mental health and spiritual health and social health, all of the components that add together for you to become a healthy person. And so it's a great class. And in this class, we focus on the 4 pillars of health, like I was saying: your physical health, which you also learn in fitness in 6th grade, your emotional and mental health, social health, and spiritual health. And we do that by offering these main subjects. It's coming up in the next slide here. So we take those 4 components and we put it into key areas or key pieces of curriculum that impact 6th, 7th, 8th graders' daily lives, and prepare them for maybe challenges that are up ahead that they haven't seen yet. So we talk a lot about the emotional and mental health and how to treat other people and how to build that positive culture and community, tobacco, alcohol, and other drug prevention. Even though, like just say no and pieces, there's a lot of information in there that's super beneficial to your 6th grader to be learning. Abstinence and sexual health. And it's more of a snapshot. And before we start, we send out brochures to the families so that you guys know the language that we use and how you can talk to your kids and send the same message we're sending. Violence and injury prevention. Accidents are the leading cause of death for people under 18. So it's really important. And we go over a whole bunch of different safety procedures in order to keep ourselves safe. And then we have a huge nutrition unit, which ties hand in hand with that fitness class that we teach. So it overlaps and they get that double dose of nutrition, which is so, so important. And now I'm going to send it back to Miss Caruso for Spanish and e-school electives. Oh, those are the PE coaches, Coach Fulmer, Coach B, and myself.
Thank you, Coach Peterson. All right, I am excited to talk about the world languages that we offer at our school. Online, through our partners with Pasco eSchool, we offer beginning Spanish, which is a middle school level course. And it does not impact a student's GPA at the high school level like our other courses do. But one of the great things that we provide as an acceleration opportunity for our students is high school level Spanish 1 and level 2. So these are requirements for high school graduation. We offer them face-to-face, traditionally with our teachers, and students learn to read, write, listen, and speak Spanish. And it's possible for your student to have both of their high school world language credits met before they leave Bayonet Point and even go to high school. Other options that we have for electives are through our partnership with Pasco eSchool. The larger box are the middle school level courses, and the smaller boxes are the high school level courses. And this provides just a larger opportunity of interest areas for your students. So if one of the other options that we have here at Bayonet Point wasn't going to meet the specific needs of your student, or you wanted to take additional options and take additional classes, there's a lot more classes than just what we offer here on our campus. So it's really important for all of our families to know and understand that we do have requirements for middle school promotion to leave from 8th grade and go to 9th grade, just like high schoolers have graduation requirements. So by the time that you're done in middle school, you need to have successfully completed 3 years of language arts, 3 years of math, 3 years of science, and 3 years of social studies. And one of those has to be a civics course. And then we also have a career planning course module that is required of students as well. And then for 6th graders, they also need to take that health course that Coach Peterson shared with us. So it's really important that as students and families are focusing on their academics, that they're really spending a lot of time making sure that they pass those core content areas successfully. Otherwise, they'll have to lose an opportunity to take an elective and recover those failed courses. So we really want to prevent that from happening by making sure that we stay engaged, that we complete our work, and parents partner with teachers to make sure that we're all helping students to stay on track for their learning. Okay, and we also offer some high school courses, as I mentioned, with the Spanish 1 and Spanish 2, but we also have a digital multimedia course, which is a Photoshop course. It's a full year course that both students that are successful and have a lot of fun in that intro to AV arts course, they're going to take a full year course with Mr. Gartland and earn possibly a certification credit in the CTE, which is also another graduation opportunity that students have. And then as far as math goes, we do provide face-to-face Algebra 1 for students that progress through accelerated math pathways. And some of our students even take geometry on campus as well. The following year, we do plan to offer digital information technology again. It's a high school credit CTE course. We've offered a lot in the past, and we won't have the availability for it for next year, but that's okay because we have the students that are still catching up from the gaps that we've had from missed opportunities because of COVID. So we're definitely going to bring back that back in the future because it's a CTE component for high school graduation, and many of our CTE programs at Wendell Crinn have that as one of their requirements. So it's possible that you could leave high school with 4 high school or leave middle school with 4 high school credits before even entering the doors at your designated high school. The big responsibility that comes with that is making sure that you keep your grades up in those courses, because those courses and the grades that you earn follow through with as a high school GPA. So if a student is not taking any accelerated courses, they're going to enter high school without a GPA at all. But students that take advanced classes are going to come with a 3.0 or a 3.5 or even a 4.0 or 4.5 even before they walk through those high school doors. So we're really proud and excited that we have many students that take advantage of these opportunities. So all of you hopefully have received some course cards, or you can access them on our website. There is a different course card for if you are entering 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. The current 5th grade students, you guys, if you are traditional face-to-face, you hopefully received your course cards from your 5th grade teacher. If you are a My School Online 5th grade student, you can access that on our school website. And make sure that you send those choices back to us. That way we can make sure that we plan your schedule for you and make sure that we give you as many of the courses that you're very interested in. You can either email them to us or you can pop them in the mail. You can drop them off at school. But either way, make sure that we get that at the beginning of March so we can start to plan for your arrival in the courses that are most important to you. If you are a current Bayonet Point student in 6th and 7th grade, you guys have an option in My Learning. It's a course called All Students, and we have those course cards posted there for you with a place for you to submit them as an assignment so that we can print them out at school and start to prepare your schedules for you. You also have the opportunity to email them in, and all of that information is available on our website. So now that we have gone through all of the different course selections that we offer at Bayonet Point, we want to give you an opportunity to ask us questions. So you can go ahead and write those in the chat. If you have specific questions regarding ESE services, we do have Miss Adams, one of our case managers from our ESE department here to answer some questions. We have Miss Mulvey available to answer questions regarding gifted. Again, Mr. Harvey's here for music. Coach Peterson's here to talk about health and fitness. All of our presenters are still online. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the chat, and Ms. Jacobson and I will try to do our best to facilitate that conversation and get the right people to answer your questions. I do see a question about clubs. In the past, in a normal year, we have done clubs. We have a different schedule that we use for club day. We actually allow students to help generate the list of interests that they have. We find teachers to sponsor those clubs. And then you get to spend time building relationships and making friends with students that have the same interests as you. So in the past, we've had some technology clubs, we've had archery, we've had reading, we've had cooking club, we've had Minecraft, we've had lots of different clubs that we've had on campus. And we are hoping that next year that our COVID restrictions will reduce or be eliminated so that we can provide those opportunities again. Looking to see here if I haven't seen any other.
Peterson, there's a couple of questions about sports and PE. We have a student who wants to know how much you run in PE. And we have some students wanting to know what athletic opportunities are available for both boys and girls after school.
I'm looking to see if I can click on him. I can't see Mr. Peterson on my screen, Miss Jacobson, but I can take a stab at those questions. I see one that you are allowed to take a PE multiple times. So if you take it in 6th grade, you are allowed to take a different PE course from 7th and 8th. I am not sure how much running occurs in PE, but I'm sure that there is some because it's all based on physical fitness. So there's probably different activities throughout the year and the different that vary in the amount of running that they do. Trying to see what other, we do have. We have a couple sports questions. Mr. Babiars, would you like to talk about the sports that we offer?
There we go. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Let me just cover the sports that we do have, because the first question I got, and I see you are 6th graders coming in. Yes, 6th graders can try out for sports. So that is something that's been new. And in fact, we have our first students that have gone from 6th, 7th, and 8th grade that are graduating this year that have been able to play in 6th grade. They were the first ones to do that. And it's very exciting because in many of our sports, we have 6th grade students. So let me explain to you what sports are available. We start out the year, we have football, where boys and girls can play football. And at the same time, we have girls volleyball going on. And I know I don't want to steal the thunder from Mrs. Babiars because she is our cheerleading coach, and she takes care of the cheerleaders. I'll let her talk about that in a second. But then after the football season is over in volleyball, we get into the boys soccer and the girls basketball. So the girls will play inside at that time and the boys will play outside in soccer. And then after that will be after the first of the year that girls soccer takes the field and the boys are inside the gymnasium. And then to finish off the year, we have track. Okay. And our track has always been very successful. And we've even had some of our students go to regionals and state track meets based in middle school. So yes, there's plenty of opportunities for 6th grade students to play. They just have to go out and try out and keep playing and do their best. So welcome everybody.
Miss Babiars, do you want to share about cheerleading?
Right, for cheerleading, we sixth graders can try out. One of the things that you need to make sure is that you have all of your athletic paperwork filled out. That includes a physical that has to be completed by a doctor. You need to have it notarized. You need to have all your paperwork in order before you try out. In the past, I have traditionally held tryouts the first week of school. So when day one of school, if you wish to try out for cheer, and cheer is open to boys and girls. If you wish to try out for cheer, you'll need to come be ready for that first day of school, pack your bag and be ready. You have that. So the most important thing is to get your physical paperwork in, and your physical is good for a calendar year. So moms and dads, if your child plays football, that same physical that got them on the football team or travel football team is good for all the rest of the sports. Also too, for those of you that wish to cheer, I do not limit the cheerleaders. If you wish to cheer and play basketball, or if you wish to cheer and play soccer, you're allowed to do that. The only sport that it's very difficult is volleyball. But I usually hold cheer tryouts the week before volleyball tryouts. So some girls try out for cheer and then they decide they don't like it, so then they go out for volleyball. So we do it that way.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to help answer some of the course card questions. If you have not seen our course card yet, this is the 6th grade card. It has all of your required classes here, and your job is going to be able to fill out the side here on the right. Everyone will take language arts and US history and accelerated options because of those authentic learning unit projects where our students extend their thinking and apply their learning in ways that other students do at other schools in advanced classes. All of our students get that opportunity at our school, so we want to make sure that we're giving them that credit for it with that advanced title. You'll choose regular or advanced science and regular or advanced math. And then after you complete your year and you finish up your state assessments testing, we'll take a look at that data and help confirm that you're going to end up in the right math or science class for next year. 6th graders also take health and fitness. And then they have one period of the day where they get to have a choice. So you'll choose either one full year course, band, guitar, or Spanish, and you can write it here on this line, or you can take 2 sets, or you could take a set of the fine arts pathway or the technology pathway. So you would choose and circle which one that you want to do for your 6th period. So we have 6 periods of 6 classes a day plus your lunch. And then we also ask that you write in some second and third choice options, just in case the one that you wanted is full or not available. You're going to write that on there as well so that we can have a backup choice for you also. So it is possible that you can take PE and the technology pathway, or you'll have the fitness, which is PE with the art and music pathway, or you can add a Spanish or band 1 or guitar with your health and fitness. So once you get into 7th grade, you'll pick 2 sets of electives. You'll pick a period 5 elective choice and then a period 6 elective choice. So remember, semester courses are half-year courses, so that you would have 2 in 7th grade, and that you could end up picking 4 classes to fulfill all of your electives if you're on track. And I see another question here about phones. At Bayonet Point Middle School, we are hyper-focused on learning and academics. And we also are super fortunate that we have a lot of technology at our school. We have technology in every single classroom. So the great thing about that is that we don't really need to utilize phones all of that much, because I apologize, my dogs are barking. We don't need to have our phones out in class because of the amount of technology that we have in our classrooms. So it's occasionally a teacher may have you pull out your phone and use a specific app, but for the most part, you'll be using the devices that we have here at school. We do allow you to use your phone before school and after school, like while you are coming and going from however you get to school and leave with school, you can use your phone then. And you're also allowed to use your phone during the cafeteria, in the cafeteria at lunchtime. That's your chance to, text your friends, your mom and dad, check in, check your social media. If you want to watch videos, we have kids that play games on their phones during lunchtime. It's a nice time for you to like decompress, take a break from learning, but they have to be off and away and back in your bags before you exit the cafeteria and enter the hallways. So that is something that is very important to us because we want to make sure that everyone is not worried about everybody on social media and not worried about their games, but we want to be focused on learning in the classroom.
We did have another technology question about whether tests and quizzes and schoolwork is mostly done on computers. Because we are a STEM school and we are fortunate to have so much technology, we do a lot of work on the computer. Not all of your quizzes and tests will be done on the computer. It's really up to your individual teachers, but there will be a good combination of both paper and computer tests and quizzes and schoolwork. So.
And Foster, I see you're asking about times. We have bells that ring that signal when it's time to end class, and then students have 3 minutes to walk from one class to the next. And then at the end of the day, the bell rings, and then you also leave your method of transportation. So our bells will be the signal for you of when classes start and end.
And classes usually start at 8:30 in the morning for students and usually end at about 3 o'clock.
Yeah. And then once that time schedule gets finalized, that'll be advertised on our school website and through social media. Alexis, the student number is your lunch number. So that is your Pasco County number that you use in the library when you check out books and then in the lunchroom when you get your food. We do not have lockers at school, so you'll want to make sure that you have a backpack that you love that can hold all of your things. You'll want to keep your personal belongings in your backpack, and then teachers have some storage areas in their classrooms for things that they choose to have you store there. So sometimes your math book or your language arts folder might stay in class, and other times they'll send it home with you. But that your teachers will help you in 6th grade know how to use your folders, how to use your planners, and what things that you should be leaving behind so that it's there for you the next day, and what things you might need to take home. Let's see. How do children change classes, and are they staggered to avoid large crowds? Right now, our COVID procedures are that all students are transitioning at the same time. At the end of our 50-ish minute periods, the bell rings and all students exit and start transitioning to their next class. Because of the new COVID protocols, we do have one-way traffic to help with not having that face-to-face experience so you're walking behind someone who's facing in front of you. We are not sure what the procedures and protocols will be for next year regarding the COVID and safety procedures. But this year, we've been pretty lucky, knock on wood, and we hope that continues.
So we had a few questions I want to go back to about the PE and health. So no, you are not required to take PE every single year. You only take health one semester, so half of a year during your 6th grade year. The rest of the time you can pretty much choose whether you want to take PE or not. And then again, somebody had asked if you have to take it for the full year. Health is all of our electives or most of our electives, most of our electives are for half the year. I believe we do have some full year electives though, right, Ms. Caruso?
Yes.
So, but health and PE would be half of the year. And then somebody asked if you were allowed to take it in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And yes, you do have that opportunity to take PE in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade if you would like to.
Mm-hmm. And there is a PE waiver on the back of your course card. So if you are not interested in taking PE, you can see if you meet the criteria and you're getting physical fitness in another way, and your parent can sign the waiver, and we will and you won't have to take PE each year. Currently right now, Aiden, our school start time is 8:30 and ends at 3:08, but that is likely to be a couple minutes different because of the delay in the start of the school year this year, that we had to extend our day a little bit. So I don't know exactly what time it will end, but it is likely to start again at 8:30. And students are allowed on campus starting at 8:10 a.m. So buses don't drop off until 8:10. Our car loop opens at 8:10, and walkers and bike riders are allowed on campus starting at 8:10.
And Denijah, you do not have a lot of things to carry in your backpack. It's not going to be a lot of textbooks that go back and forth. It's mostly just going to be a folder for each class. Sometimes your teachers might want your folders to stay in class though, and maybe some notebooks and paper. But you won't have to carry too much because we don't have textbooks that you have to take home every day.
Ms. Terrell, we currently do not have a list of the descriptions of the courses on the website, but I will get that up there for you tomorrow. The bus stops are assigned by the transportation department, and it's based on your home residence that you have on file in My Student. So it'll be really important when the online registration opens the first week in August that you go in there and do the virtual registration card, because your bus stop will be assigned based on your home address in My Student. So you want to make sure that that's accurate and up to date. For PE, sometimes some of the teachers will take you out to the track and they will do some activities on the track. And I'm not sure if there's a track specific unit that they use. If a student would choose to take Pasco eSchool for either a semester or full year elective, we have an academic lab where your student can have a period in their day to have computer access and be supervised by a staff member while they take their course on campus. Some students choose to take additional courses beyond the day, and you would do that at home, but that is up to you. This year, our students do not change for PE because of the safety and COVID protocols, but last year they did, and we do have lockers in the PE locker room for you to store your belongings.
I just put the link for the course cards in the chat for those of you that are asking for it.
For mask breaks, we have the opportunity, if we're still wearing masks next year, if you needed a mask break, you can take a trip to the restroom. So you're there by yourself, in the hallway when there's not other students, in the hallway with you. You can also step out of the classroom we have big glass windows in front of the doors. You can step out in the hallway for a minute or two and have a mask break. But we've been pretty lucky this year that it seems that students have been really adapted to wearing the masks for the most part pretty successfully. So Alexis, I'm not sure your question regarding alternative choices for PE and guitar, but if those are going to be your choices, make sure that you put those on your course card. Our BPMS bullying policy is the same across the district. So a bullying is when there is a repeat of interactions between the same two people that is like unwanted. So sometimes we have in middle school, we have students that are they don't get along and they have some kind of an altercation, whether it's a verbal disagreement or name calling or something like that. And when that happens one time, it's very important that students tell an adult so that we can use that as a teachable moment and help problem solve and work through that problem. Sometimes we're able to work through it and students are able to be friends moving forward. And sometimes we just agree that, we don't have to like each other, but we have plenty of space in our school that we can still respect each other and move forward and get along respectfully, following our Patriot Core Pride values. So if a situation would repeat itself over and over with the same students and there's a pattern between two students, then it would qualify as bullying. Our goal is to not have it get to that point. Our goal, we have a big student services team with behavior specialists, school counselors, psychologists, and social workers on campus. And we spend a lot of time helping students with those teachable moments and working through how to appropriately express when they're not feeling comfortable, or when they didn't like something, or they didn't like how something happened, and really fixing the situation so that they can use those skills moving forward without adult help. Our goal is that we have everybody happy and safe at Bayonet Point. So if someone is bothering you or you don't feel comfortable about something, it's really important that you tell an adult, because we all come to school every day to help you make sure that you are happy and safe and successful. We do have an SRO on campus. Corporal Collier has been with us for a couple years now. He is super funny. He's a dad of a bunch of boys. He helps out with our basketball team. He's a great guy, and you will get to know him very well because he is all over campus and he loves to talk and meet people and tell stories. So you'll definitely get to know Corporal Collier.
Yes, Alexis, PE is 5 days a week. All of your electives, when you get placed into an elective class, you'll have that same elective every day for the entire semester.
All right. So I am just want to thank everyone again for coming tonight. It is so wonderful to see some of our future Patriots. I'm so glad that you got to see and hear from our amazing teachers that we have at Bayonet Point. They are absolute rock stars, and you are going to be so excited when you are in their classes. If you have any other questions, you can put them in the Let's Talk on our school website, or you can email. Our emails are at the bottom of the page. We'll also make sure that there's that email on there and our address if you want to send your course cards to us by email. Hopefully, we are going to have a face-to-face event for sixth graders where you get to come on campus and tour our school in August. It's only going to be for sixth graders and new students. Everyone else will have a virtual registration. So sixth graders, you're super duper lucky that you get to come see our beautiful building ahead of time before the first day of school. And that date will be advertised to you probably in June. I imagine that they'll solidify that date. All right. Thank you guys again so much. It was so wonderful to see your smiling faces, and we can't wait to see you on campus. We wish you all the safest and most successful rest of fifth grade and your current school year, and we will see you all soon. Take care, everyone.